Welcome back to my channel. My name's Rebecca, I'm 31 and I live in Newcastle and you are reporting for Beauty Duty. So today I'm going to do a little first impressions eyeshadow and I've got the Plouise Book of Spells A Droplet of Magic palette. The packaging on these is always, she clearly puts a lot of thought into them. Like that's all nice and raised and it's really very unique. Like this was locked with a and stuff like that, but they can be very hard to store and I probably will not be picking it up as I do it, and I also don't have the editing skills to like insert a photo of the colours. Well, no I don't, who am I kidding? So we've got this side of the palette and then like a pinky, like a red and pink and purple side, and I think because I do a lot of pink, I think I'm going to do like a cool toned bluey grey green essentially. I'm going to do one eye on camera and one eye off just because, to be honest, I don't want to be editing for a million years. Yeah. That's that. Full face picture videos take a long time as well. So I'm just going to do the eyeshadow on camera. So I've got a wet base because I think this formula works better with a slightly damp base from what I can remember. It's been a while since I've used, actually no, I think it's my cancelled palette that I do actually use quite a bit. Just a good solid neutrals, and I think this is a pack the colours on sort of dark to light, so that's sort of how I'm gonna do it, and then I might add like black in at the end. So I'm just looking at the colours. So then I'm going to do double first, which is like a dark grey, and just going to sort of pack this all over the lid. I don't know what I'm going to do, like cut a crease or cut a halo in, so I'll just kind of go for it, then sort of go from there. And yes, I know it's been ages since I've filmed. I kind of just film as and when I feel like it, and when I've got interesting new things and when the mood really strikes me. I am quite like a talkative person, but I don't always have it in me to like sit on camera and be mega chatty, you know? Yeah. So I've just got back from Mexico, celebrating my husband's 40th birthday. So we did like a 10-day all-inclusive in Cancun and it was amazing. We went to Chichen Itza, which is like Mayan ruins. Yeah, it was fantastic. Had a really, really good time. So I'm actually quite tanned. For me, as always, my face is different to my neck. Like I wore a cap if I was sunbathing and stuff like that, and wore factor 30 on my body and 50 on my face. And I wear 50 on, like I've got tattoos on my back and stuff, and I wear factor 50 on my tattoos. But that was very easy. Yeah, so as always, it looks like, you know, when you fake tan, and I never fake tan my face when I do it, so that's why slight colour discrepancies, and like I think my arm will be much darker than my face as well. And I'm just going to give it a little blend kind of around the outside. I think off the top of my head, cool tones are probably the most difficult to formulate. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that like a cool tone blue purple they're very hard to formulate, and I don't think I'll be using any of those today. I think we're just gonna go, you know, I know Halloween's over, but it's winter. It's the time for something a bit dark and smoky, isn't it? And I think I often do very neutral on my channel. Like the colour isn't like, it's not like fluffing out loads, but it means it's holding its pigment. So there's a fine line between where you can blend it out and it blends to nothing and you have to pack and blend again, or if you add the colour and it's such a hit of colour and you can't blend it. So it is a very, very fine line with formulation, in my opinion, with those sort of colours. So yeah, it really, really depends. And then I'm going into Fright Night, which is like a greeny sort of blue grey. And I think I'm gonna take it on the same brush. Yeah, I'm gonna take it on the same brush I've just been blending with, and still kind of tuck that into my crease, starting at my outer corner and kind of sort of half blending as I go, because I don't want to completely get rid of the colour, and so it's kind of fading out as I go into my inner corner, because that's probably where I'm going to remove shadow, or I haven't decided. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut that sort of as a half cut. I rarely do a full cut crease these days. There's a couple of amazing looking shimmers in this. So I'm just gonna keep kind of pack and blend as I go. I've got a lot of space out here, so I think I'm looking to kind of pull it right out. And it's good for me to kind of flex my skills. I'm not working on a counter as I normally do at the moment. I've left Charlotte Tilbury just after a period of being ill, and I've had an operation and stuff like that, and sort of figure out what my kind of next steps be. I might do a little bit of work over Christmas, and I'll see what I do, essentially. And then I'm just going to blend the edges out of this a little bit. Bit of brow will not lay down. I don't do my soap brows very often anymore, but I really like them for when I do slightly more dramatic looks. It just gives me that little bit more space when they kind of have that really laminated effect. Now, kind of new Rebecca would almost leave it at this and add a light shade and off we go, but we're trying to do something a little bit fun. So I'm going to go into Phantom, which is like a slightly brighter sort of tealy blue. I like that the blue and greens in this are like blue greens rather than just some blue, some are green. I like this very like tealy, these tealy colours. And I know that she has brought out smaller palettes, Plouise, but a lot of them are monochromatic or very neutral. And I do love a monochromatic palette, like don't get me wrong. But I do kind of like a variation of colour. Like I definitely have my pink palette, blue palette, green palette, like definitely have my monochromes. Although I say this, but I'm still very much a sucker for any neutral palettes, to be honest. You can pry those from my cold dead hands. Warm neutrals, pinky neutrals. Love a cool toned, still very much my jam for like every day, still love them. I love the look of the new Natasha Denona, love the look of the new Huda palette, which is cool toned, very much kind of my vibe. So I think when like Black Friday sales and stuff happen, I'll potentially look at, picking something up. And then I'm going into Secret Potion, which is like almost like a minty sort of teal, like a brighter mint sort of colour. Like not quite a pastel, but almost minty coloured. And just kind of using as much space out to my outer corner out to my brow sort of area that I have. I don't utilise this kind of space enough. I tend to only use them when I'm being like creative, like doing something a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative like I am today. And I will take that a little bit further here. And then I'm going to go into a lighter grey called Nightmare. Going to blend it out. I love this mix of blue, bluey greens and greys. I think that it is reasonably unique. to be honest, you don't often see a mix of these together. Whereas on the other side, where it's like reds, is it reds and purples? You do see that. Although red, yeah, I've got palettes, plenty of palettes with reds and purples. I don't know whether I'm gonna like line that out and like, we'll see. And for once I am actually using a good few brushes to make sure I get this right. And you'll see with this, I'm blending as I add, where I want it to be a little bit more feathered out. Just brush this a little bit across. These very like, this grey, sort of almost pastel-y grey is a great blending colour. It really softens things up. So it doesn't add a huge amount of pigment, it's just really softening out that edge there. And then I'm going to do So Beautiful. Like Boo was in like a ghost, and this is a white shade. Just gonna tiny little bit of white and almost just pat that very gently, like pat and swirl around the outside, just to make sure I've got that blend really nice. And then what I'm going to do now is kind of go back in. If you've watched me before doing something a bit more colourful, you'll know I do this, and I go back in and sort of re-intensify anything. So if you missed the names of any colours that I used, I will be going through them again. So I'm going into Double, which is the first sort of dark grey I used. This is Fright Night, which is my like sort of grey-green colour. Going into, did I use Phantom? Ah, shit. I think I must have, yeah. Slightly like brighter tealy colour. I've got the brushes that I used in order on my desk, so it makes things slightly easier. Secret Potion, which I said is almost like a minty tealy kind of colour. Then going into Nightmare, which is a light grey. Just into the white again and blending that out. I think I'm going to leave my mattes there, and I'm going to copy the mattes onto this side before I do any shimmers. So I'll be right back, and then we'll add some shimmers on. So I shall see you shortly. Right, so I've done my best to match these up. Kind of. More or less. I don't know how people do this, but it is much. So I'm just going to do, I can already see bits that don't match. I don't know how people do this. It is much easier editing wise, but I normally don't do this with like bright colours. And with my normal boring neutrals, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? I'm gonna put on, I was deciding this as I was looking, there's a really dark like navy colour in here that almost looks black, and I'm gonna just pop a little bit of that in here on both sides. Just, yeah, that's nice. Just as a little darken up. I don't really want to add black to this yet, so I just wanted to do a tiny touch of something a little darker. I've had my head down during all of that, haven't I? Just stick that in there. It just gives me that little bit. It's probably not that obvious. It's because that tiny bit more of definition that I wanted, and then I'm going to blend it out with Phantom, which is kind of the darker tealy colour that I've been using. Let's pop this in. So, shimmers. I think I'm not going to cut anything in, and kind of, so I've got like a nice dark base underneath, so this is really nice and deep. But it's, I mean, that's right up my street. That's right up my street. The dark green. Like, oh, there's like the silver. Let me wipe this off. Let me wipe off my hand. Oh, like the silvers are stunning. Ooh. There, I think I'll do one of the like, oh, I didn't touch this one. That's like, oh, that's beautiful. Because I think I'm going to do 3 different shimmers. Maybe we're being ambitious here, but we'll do what we do. Let me spray down a little flat brush. So I think I'm going to start with Trick or Treat first. I need a little mirror for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go Trick or Treat first, which is this very dark, and I barely touched it there, very dark blue shimmer. Really, I feel like I should add a bit of glitter glue, but I'm too lazy. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Yep, hell yeah. That is absolutely glorious. It has kind of like navy, purpley and tealy flecks to it. That's delicious. That is absolutely glorious. I want to do an all smoky eye with that. Just wiping my brush off, give it another bit of a spritz. And then I think I'm going to take Coven, which is like a greeny colour. Oh, this is like almost like a creamy formula. Can I pick you up on my brush? They are very Beauty Bay-like almost. Yeah, that is stunning. I like to make sure the blend between the 2 colours is like seamless. I don't like it to look too harsh or anything. And then I'm going to do silver on the inner corner, I think. That is delicious. So I ordered a one-off budget box to get this, and it did come with like lip balmy stuff in as well, and you didn't know which palette you were going to get. I would have been happy with either palette, to be honest, so it was like not so much of a gamble. And then I think I'm going to take Witch's Brew, which is a slightly touch more champagne-y than the straight up silver. Yeah, I would have been happy with either. And I do think the budget box is like a nice deal. If it was something that I thought that was affordable to me right now, I would, you know, keep doing the budget box. I think it's a great way to get some new releases and stuff like that, because it's what, like £30 a month? Often you can buy the stuff separately, but the good way to get it is the budget box. Really, really happy with how that's came out. And then I'm going to take the brush that I did the little bit of navy on and just kind of pat that over and blend it, sort of blend it together. So to be honest, we've lost kind of all of that grey sort of colour that I used, and I thought that might be the case, but it is what it is. And I do love a halo eye still. I'm still a hoe for a halo, but I do like, this is my most popular shape that I do the most often. I just think you can get so much from a palette doing this kind of shape and see really how the colours are used, and then just blending out with that tealy blue a little bit, which is called Phantom. Looks great. I'm really chuffed with how that looks. So I'm going to go off, whack base on, and then we'll come, oh, not colouring light. Yeah, I'll come back, pop my base on, and because I'm not doing it on camera, don't worry. Pop my base on, and then we'll do a bit of like under eye and all that jazz. So I shall see you shortly. Okay, so popped on my eyeliner and my lip. I know I normally don't do my lip before doing the rest of my under eye, but whatever. Just done some basic black eyeliner. I was going to do a colour, but sometimes I just think black is just, you know. So I'm going to take Spell on You, which was the really dark navy, and I'm going to run that on a tiny brush and blend that right into the black. I like a very bold under eye, generally, and I've smudged this black eyeliner a little bit because I was trying to get an eyelash out of my eye. So it's definitely going to be a bit bolder. And what I will do is like pull this wing out a tiny bit with this navy colour, just to blend it all nicely. And then going into the kind of grey, first grey colour I used, called Double Double. I've changed to kind of denser brushes now, so I have a little bit more control of where the pigment goes, especially very up and close to my under eye. As much as I like a dramatic under eye, I still want the colours to lay where I put them. And I think especially for my eye, I do have quite large eyes. I can get away with a lot of colour underneath there. I'm going to skip Fright Night, which was like the first grey blue, and go into Phantom, which was the teal. Making sure to get any excess off that, and then start to sort of marry what's going on here with my under eye. And I decided not to angle it off. I just like this sort of very smoked out but winged out look. I think it's just so flattering on so many eye shapes. My eyes are large, but they're very round, and it gives me that sort of elongated shape that I like. And I do love a roundabout eye look, and I do that, but that gives me that sort of more of a doe-eyed kind of look. Then I'm going into Nightmare. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm telling you lies. I'm going into Secret Potion, which was like the lightest of the bluey greens that I used. And kind of using a flatter edge and blending like that, just to re-intensify anything I lost when doing my base. And taking it a little bit under the under eye, just to marry everything up. And just into Nightmare, and then going into Beautiful, So Beautiful. Like B-O-O-tiful. I do know how to say beautiful. And then that's the white shade. I'm just gonna blend that out with that. Take, I don't know where some of my really tiny brushes are. They might be in my kit actually. I need to have a look in my kit. I haven't done kit work in a while, but, and then going back in, and then I'm gonna take the lighter silver, the very silvery silver, just on this tiny brush. This brush is a little fluffier than I would like, but it is small. Just make sure I really coat my brush. Just gonna pop that right in that inner corner and blend it under like that. A little bit up here on the brow bone. See, I'm not always a fan of a very harsh inner corner, but I do sometimes just think it looks great with a very, very strong look. There we go. So I'm going to go and find a very dramatic eyelash to pop on, and then I'll come back and kind of show you the final look. So I shall see you shortly. Okay, we are done. Had a bit of battle finding some eyelash glue. I don't normally wear lashes as dramatic as this anymore, but I think the look can really carry them. They're making me look really bong-eyed, but hey ho, I'm tired, so my lazy eye starts looking a bit droopy because it is nearly 11 o'clock at night. I still like to film in the evenings. I am a night owl. To be honest, I'm tired all the time, but I prefer the evenings. I am definitely more me. Definitely. But I can safely say that this palette, I have thoroughly enjoyed using it. I'll hold it up and kind of show, and you'll be able to see the colours that I've used. So it was, what even was it? I think I definitely used these two, and I think, was it this one? Yeah, maybe this one. And then the shimmers that I used were Coven, Trick or Treat, Witch's Brew, and Dead End I used right at the end. So I did pretty well with what I used in this palette. I just didn't use a couple of the greys or the black. I think the look kind of really represents. And then the other side is absolutely beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to using this. Do let me know if that's something that you guys like really want to see some inspo with it, and I'll do something different to what I've got on now, and maybe do like a halo eye, or I can do a full-on cut crease or something like that, because I love the look of how yummy like these are. Yeah, they look really nice. Maybe something a bit contrasting with the red and the purple could be really interesting, and maybe use all the colours together. Yeah, I'll see. So it depends how like inspired I'm feeling to do something colourful, because on the day-to-day I do just wear neutral makeup if I bother. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and do let me know what you'd like to see next from me. I probably do have a bit more time to be filming, so now is the time if you want to see more of this face. Do let me know. I've got the newest Cosmic Brushes palette as well. Is it Gothic? So maybe I'll film with that also. But yeah, let me know down below. Don't forget to go follow me over on Instagram. I'll leave it up wherever. And I do post, you know, over there, and add stories, silly little things as well. But thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.